All right, so in my car again. So that means now it is officially the end of my Florida trip, and it's time to make that long journey home. So pretty much it looks like I'll make my first stop in about an hour and 50 to 2 hour mark in St. Augustine, and then we'll continue onward on our journey. It's going to be a long one, so hopefully it's not too much traffic. I know the last time I did this drive back up to from Florida to New Jersey, there was like an accident on the one road, so that held me back by like an hour. So hopefully there's no accidents. I'm going to aim to try to get into North Carolina tonight, so tomorrow could be a nice short drive, and then we can get to my house by maybe tomorrow dinner time, maybe 7 o'clock, maybe 8. And then I can unpack everything and relax a little bit, go to bed, and yeah. Definitely this is a sad drive though. Nothing to look forward to when you're leaving Disney World. All right, goodbye Disney.
In 1,000 feet, take the Interstate 4 East exit
See you real soon.
Orlando.
This is such a sad moment every single time, seeing the back end of that sign. Sad, sad day. All right, just a little update on the drive. So about an hour more, we'll be at the St. Augustine Charger. I believe it's this Buc-ee's, if I'm not mistaken. I think that's where I stopped my last trip on the way down. So should be there about 4:38, 4:45, we'll say. It's currently 3:40, so one more hour and then we'll be stopping to stretch the legs. Right, so this Charger was not the Buc-ee's. It's actually a Wawa, so not too bad. Got myself a nice pumpkin spice coffee, some like chicken tenders and mashed potatoes. So I'll enjoy that little meal and then continue the journey onward. I think, is this South Carolina? Yeah, so it looks like that's South Carolina, 90% sure it's South Carolina. Then I think that's also South Carolina, so it looks like maybe 2 South Carolina stops. And then it will be a North Carolina stop at 1:46 a.m., almost 2 a.m. So say if I drove all the way through, I'll be at my house tomorrow at 9:30 in the morning, which that would be awful. I would be sleeping all day long. So I think the best course of action here will be get to that second South Carolina Charger and then plan on a hotel. So, you know, whether it's an hour away hotel or a 30-minute away hotel from there, so then probably put me around like 12, maybe the latest 12:30, sleep, and then wake up tomorrow and then continue the drive. I do feel pretty good on like driving down when I was like working all that time and I was exhausted, so I feel pretty decent. So I got this coffee and then I'll eat, have my coffee, continue the journey, and the next stop will be, looks like South Carolina, skipping right through Georgia. And then here's a look at the map. So yeah, gonna skip right over Georgia. We're gonna pass, past Savannah, so it's just inside of South Carolina. Yeah, maybe like 45 minutes or so. I think the last time I stayed somewhere towards like the middle of South Carolina or so, the last trip on my way back. But I think though, oh, so that other one's actually in North Carolina, it looks like. So one charging stop there, and then the next one will be in North Carolina. So I think somewhere around this area I'll have to find a hotel, and then the next day I'll drive from there to there to there, and then to my house. Not too shabby. All right, charging has completed, food is completed. Still have coffee that I'm drinking, but that's going to be for the road. And we're going to continue in like 30 seconds. We'll be back on the road. Right, so continuing our journey that got rerouted. So we ended up at that shady gas station I was talking about. But we are currently here, gonna charge up. Looks like about 45 more minutes or so, maybe. We'll see. So I'm just kind of look to see where it's gonna say we're gonna go next after this one. So so it had me stop here, but then like the next, it still shows the other charger. So I might just cancel the trip and then reroute it to see where it's gonna put me. So it does say about 650 more miles until I get to my house, which is not too shabby. I think I'm doing pretty well.
Drive north on North Jacob Smart Boulevard for 9/10 of a mile.
So let's see. So it looks like you'll have me stop like, where's that near? It looks like Charleston, so a little bit more up the road. And then would be in, so it's showing on here, we would be like around that North Carolina charger, just on the inside of North Carolina, about midnight-ish. So I could shoot for that. I'll typically add, we'll probably get there more like 12:30. So if I start feeling more tired, I might just find somewhere to stay, find a different charger, charge up a bit, and then go from there. But this is a shirt I changed into, by the way. If you didn't notice from earlier, I was just wearing my Disney shirt and I had to switch into this shirt because that one was like covered in sweat, but a lot cooler here. But we'll sit here, charge up a bit, and then continue onward on the journey. I kind of feel a little tired, but not too tired yet, so we'll see. We'll see when we stop. All right, so good morning. It's the next day. So I stopped a little bit before North Carolina because I was looking at some of the reviews of some of the hotels, and they weren't too good. So I found this one probably about maybe 30 minutes or so from North Carolina. So still in South Carolina, but overall this was a pretty nice room. It's one of the Best Western hotels, so not too shabby. But here's the view from my window. I get a nice view of the highway here, and the gas station is only $2.78. It's a lot lower here than at my house. It's like over $3 back at home. But I'll give you a quick look at the room. The bed's a mess, so don't mind that. But yeah. So here's a look from that window I was standing at. So you have a desk over here with a little coffee machine, pretty small TV, a microwave, a fridge. You have one, looks like probably a queen, a chair. The nightstand is a little bit far from either bed though, so if you had to set something down, you're gonna have to reach. You have a mirror here, and then the bathroom, you know, pretty generic, toilet, bathtub, shower, so nothing too crazy in there. But now it's time to continue the journey. Probably another, we'll say like, we'll round it up, we'll say like 10 hours or so. Oh geez, I need to get some water. But probably another 10 hours, and so I think the next stop is obviously going to be in North Carolina, and then Virginia is a long state to drive through, so spend a lot of time in Virginia. I think I'm projecting to probably be home around like, I'm going to say like 10 or 11 o'clock, depending on traffic and everything like that. But let's get the show on the road. All right, so I did stop at their complimentary breakfast, had some like sausage, some eggs, and then I took myself a little blueberry muffin for the ride. So based on our GPS for this, the remaining amount of the trip here, so first stop looks like it will be in Wilson, North Carolina. Then I'm assuming that's Virginia, then Baltimore, and then based on this, it's saying I'll be home by 7:18. That's, you know, driving perfectly, no traffic, charging the exact amount. So we shall see, but starting the drive, it's going to be 2 hours before we get to the next charger. So let's get going, and we'll be home soon. All right, we're passing south of the border. There's our halfway point. I hear bad reviews from their motel though. It does look kind of like a dirty one, so I don't think I'll ever stay there, but might be an itchy night if I did. Alright, made it to North Carolina's charger in Wilson. So it does appear that we do have, let's see, another, what time is it now? Probably like 2 hours and it would be in, then looks like Virginia. So not too shabby, I suppose. I do need some coffee though. There's a Starbucks down the street, so I think once I finish up charging, I'm gonna make my way over to that Starbucks, because where this charger is, they do have a lot of EV chargers. So they have like the regular Tesla ones, and then they have, I'm not sure which ones those are. They have other ones, but yeah, there's a lot of Tesla ones. So you have Tesla ones over there. The Tesla ones are all over here. And then across the way, they have those other chargers there and over there. So they have a lot of chargers. And I don't know what this Crystal place is. If there's, I don't know, I guess it's a food place. I don't know what kind of food they have. But I think I'm going to play it safe and just go to Starbucks and get something that, like, I already know the coffee will be good. And I don't have to, like, worry that I'm going to waste my money on stuff that's disgusting. So after this charge, go down the street a little bit, go get some Starbucks, and then continue the journey. So far, how I'm pacing it out, based on this, so I'm going to charge when I get back to my town, but based on this here, it's showing about, I'm going to say, like, on here it says 7:45, but typically, you know, with traffic, and especially around, like, Virginia, Baltimore, you know, DC, traffic kind of gets built up a little bit. So I'm going to probably project me getting home at like 8:30, 9 o'clock, you know, just to give, you know, an extra like hour or so of traffic buildup. But that's not too bad. I think the last time I did this, I got home around the same time. So looks like I'm on pace to be the same as last time, which is not too shabby. This drive is a little bit easier than the drive down, though, I can tell you that. Like, I don't know why I was so tired, but right now I feel good still. We'll see how I feel later this evening when you're just sitting in a car driving non-stop. So we'll see if I still remain wide awake, but that's what coffee is for. Alright, we made it to Virginia's first charger, right? Last one's in North Carolina, yeah, so Virginia now, the first charger. It's a little bit slow because this one's busy, and I think it's one of like their older charging generations, so it's already slow as is, and then it's splitting between the rest of the cars here, so it's going to be a bit slower to get to where we need to continue the journey on. But next stop, it looks like about 7 o'clock ish will be in the second Virginia stop, and then it's saying we'll be at, you know, at my house around 9:30. But I'm gonna probably weigh that in and change that to like 10:30, because typically it gives you these estimated times, but doesn't account for, like, you know, traffic all the time. So sometimes traffic might back you up a little bit more, especially in all of Virginia, really, between, you know, Richmond, Washington, and then you get into Maryland. Actually, is that one? Actually, that charger's in Maryland. My mistake. So Maryland will be the next one. But yeah, so between, like, you know, Richmond and then you go to Washington D.C., Baltimore, you know, we'll start more and more traffic, so it gets a little bit harder to make it there on the exact time it claims you will. But I'm gonna say 10:30-ish. But I'm gonna have to charge up, you know, a little bit too. So yeah, but it does say from now, because it's actually relatively early still. It's about like 3:15-ish, and it says the next charging stop will be in 4 hours, which that's a long commute without stopping. So we'll see if it's gonna reroute that and change it, but sometimes it does. So it might not be the final stop. We might have another one pop up, because that is quite far to go from like the middle of Virginia all the way to like the top of Maryland. So we'll see. I think it'll change, and then it'll make a stop probably around Springfield, because that's where it typically made me stop last time. So we'll see. We'll see if it's going to be a stop there, or the car just thinks we're going to make it, a 4-hour drive. So we'll see. And then here's what I mean by slow. You see, it's only putting in 48 kilowatts. So normally at most chargers I go to, when I'm around like 33% or so, it's like normally like a minimum of like 100. So this one's a lot slower, and that's probably why it's gonna, say about 40 minutes of sitting here. So there is a few stores I can go walk around in, or there is a Panera over there, so I could get something to eat. In the meantime, while we wait for this to finish up, soup, burnt the top of my mouth a little bit, my tongue, and a half grilled cheese, finished that up. Got the charge up to 84%, and I guess it did reroute a little bit because it probably was traffic, and that's why I was saying 4 hours. But now it's 2 hours and 45 minutes till we get to the next charger, so it should be between around, say, 6:45, 7:15, around that ballpark. But let's continue the journey, and we'll be home in a few more hours. All right, made it to Delaware. Got rerouted, so it changed it to Delaware. So it looks like I would be at my house in about an hour and 37 minutes if I left now. Probably by like 9:30, 9:40, but I'm gonna stop at a charger in my town to charge it up for tomorrow, so I don't have to worry about that, because it is projecting me to get there with 12%, and I don't have a home charger. So yeah, I'm gonna stop there for a bit. So I'm gonna probably put that into the GPS now, and then probably get there around like 9:40, 10 o'clock, charge it for whatever 30-something minutes, and then go from there. Be home at like 10:30, 11 o'clock. All right, so I'll just count it as being home since I am in town. So it is 10 o'clock. We're at that final charger just in my town right before I get home. I think I made pretty good time. I think last time I was like really pushing it, like what the last time driving down, and then when I was driving home the prior time to this time, I felt a lot worse. But I don't know if I burnt my throat when I had that soup or getting sick. Hopefully I'm not getting sick, because my throat does feel a little scratchy. But so I'll be home in the next like 45 minutes, and then I can unpack, start cleaning stuff, start adding my new stuff onto, I have to find room for it actually, all of the new stuff for my Disney collection. And yeah, we'll just start doing research on my next trip, how I want to get there, whether it's car again, maybe something else, who knows, we'll see. But yeah, great trip. The drive-in was long, people drive crazy, but that's a wrap. And with that being said, until next time.